Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Brad.
I think I'm in the best mood coming into the show than I've been since before the election, in all honesty. Because nothing like truly catastrophic happened since we last recorded, and all we've gotten to see is the fucking clown show happening for like the past week and a half. And it's just been like it's been depressing, obviously, because like this is our government. It's fucking horrendous. But like just kind of watching the incompetence happen in real time and watching people that voted for him, like more and more people every single week
suffering,
just realize like doing the fucking Joe Bluth, like, oh, I made a huge mistake, like fucking reaction gif to all this shit has been, it's been getting me by. It's been getting me by a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's fair, right? Like I agree. I don't know that I'm in the best of moods. I can think of an event that could happen in the future that would put me in a great mood, but
sure.
You take a guess. I don't know. It could be anything. Almost anything. But to me, you're absolutely right though, right? Like this idea of it has just been a clown show week. Like that's all it's been. Every story I'm just like, I'm sorry? Okay. And I just like, I was reading the news on my phone and my wife was standing next to me. And I literally looked at my phone. I chuckled and just threw my head back like in exhaustion. And she was like, is something wrong? Like what happened? I was just like, and I just turned my phone to her and she was just like, Jesus. Like, yeah. Like, because at a certain point, like this thing is not disastrous. It's just stupid. Like what you're doing is just dumb. And of course he's hurting people. As you do when you're Donald Trump. But most of it this week, at least, I think you're right. It's just been just clown show optics.
Well, because they're taking the victory lap because we just got past the first 100 days.
Right. It's
So,
by the way, the greatest 100 days of any president ever, according to the worst president ever, which says something.
Yeah. It certainly does. I don't know what that thing is, but it certainly does say something.
It says something, right? Incidentally, I've been thinking about like, and this is not our big story, but we'll get into it in a moment. I've been thinking about the like greatest presidents ever thing, right? Like there's always that list, right? It's like Abraham Lincoln, FDR, generally, like 1 and 2, right? I think FDR should be 1, but whatever. That's just me. I mean, the Japanese internment really takes it out of him, if I'm being honest. Fair enough to history, right? But I think about that, and like Trump has largely been like in the bottom rung, right? Like the worst, if not like maybe above Franklin.
Bottom 10% without like twice, because we can count this as a separate instance. Yeah. So
Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 should be bargain basement, right? And one of the things that I always found about those lists irritating to me is that somehow it couples like great things that these past presidents have done for the country and like charisma are also like put at the same level. Because why is Ronald Reagan like in the top 5 or like top 10?
Oh, I think you're looking at the wrong list, buddy, because if you look at like the lists that are made by like actual presidential historians, like really good ones, they all have Reagan like at best middle of the pack.
I think he should be. I think he should be at the bottom, if not in the bottom 10%. Like, and here's the reason I say that. Like, I discovered something this like over this week that we were off. Terrence and I were having like a back and forth, not an argument. Like we were just talking about something, and I found this thing out about Ronald Reagan that made me so angry. I was like, why isn't he like 51st? Yes, I know we haven't had 51 presidents. That's how bad he is, right? He's the fucking worst. And so this is just a slight aside from the show. I just want to make this point. When people ask why is college cost so high, right? I need people to just take a swing back into the mid 70s, right? When college for a lot in the early 70s too, college in a lot of states was actually free. Like very low cost or free. The states would do it themselves. Ronald Reagan and his team of scumbags didn't care for that, right? He became governor of California, basically eliminated free college in California. When he was elected president, one of his advisors, and you can Google this, I'm not making this up. This is a direct quote. This is one of his advisors, said that, quote, "We are dangerously close to an educated proletariat." That's what he fucking said. He said that. It's unbelievable someone would say that out loud. They use that as an impetus for basically gutting any idea of free college in most states, right? Because when California did it, and then Reagan came out and was like super pushing for that because he was kind of becoming the leader of the party, all these other Republican states all were like, yeah, we all hate it too. Meanwhile, it was a bipartisan issue of like, hell yeah, let's have smarter fucking people in the country. When he did that, and when they basically gutted that and then pushed up loans, right? Like that government loans and all these private loans, when they did that, the amount of people that joined or enrolled in college increased dramatically, right? Because then people were like, well, I'll just take out loans, I guess, right? Because not every state offered free college, right? To be aware of this. So that number dramatically increased. However, the cost of college also dramatically increased. If you had to put a number on it, Brad, a percentage of the college cost increase between 1975 and 1988, what would that number be? And Brad does not know this. I did not talk to Brad about this at the time. If you had to guess, 75 to
800%.
Wow, that is fucking insanely low.
Wow. Okay.
4,000%.
Wow, that's 40 times more.
4,000%. Yeah,
that's insane.
So when people talk about Ronald Reagan was a guy, he was the fucking worst.
Now, but imagine, so imagine doing something so transformative. But remember that Reagan, like, you know how presidents like, oh, we have a mandate to do this or the other. You can argue that Reagan actually did. Like Reagan won handily against Carter.
Oh, he had a mandate
in 1980, and he fucking almost ran the table in 84.
Yeah.
So you can at least make the argument that like the American people were picking up what he was putting down. Maybe it was the American people who were truly the stupid ones back then and now. And meanwhile, Trump is doing like stuff that's like 10 times more damaging with like the slimmest of election victories.
Right.
Today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I found that to be fucking crazy. So here's the exact quote, by the way. And so the proletariat quote. This is during a press conference, October 29th, 1970. "We are in danger of producing an educated proletariat," says Reagan advisor Roger A. Freeman during a press conference. He was an economic professor at Stanford. Quote, "We have to be selective on who we allow to go through higher education." When you ask, why are things fucked up in 2025? Understand that this shit did not start in 2009. Okay? These assholes did not want people to be educated like across the board in 1970. They did not want this.
Boy, let me tell you what.
Amazing.
Well, I was on a call the other day, and someone used the term strategery, and like, and like, it was astounding to me. I'm like, man, I would literally give up a limb to have that dude back right now. That's a fucking insane thought.
Yeah.
To think.
Yeah.
And yet.
But I like, I'm trying to do this thing of like kind of digging back into sort of the origins of certain topics that we see today. And yeah, just having that back and forth conversation with Terrence about that. I found that quote. I was like,
I think we've established a pretty good baseline narrative on this show over the years that like any like really fucked up thing that you see in modern conservatism, you can usually find the origin somewhere around the orbit of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. Well, what was it? What was it called? The Mandate of Leadership. That was the Project 2025 of 1980. Like, same scumbags helped write that shit. Helped write Project 2025, basically. The same ideological scumbags. So yeah. So,
but he did happen to be the president during the fall of communism. So I guess he gets points for being there.
Yeah, literally. I never understood the obsession with Ronald Reagan, except for people who hated him, which that obsession makes total sense. Like, it's completely legitimate. But people who love Ronald Reagan, you have no idea what the fuck he did. You have no idea. Why are my kids can't afford college? Hello.
Maybe that's the guy. Like, the thought experiment that, like, hey, if you had a time machine, go back and assassinate Hitler. Maybe after Hitler,
you make two stops. Yeah, you make two stops.
Take a detour on the way back to stop in the 70s somewhere.
Yeah, you kill Adolf Hitler, and then you go to the set of Bedtime with Bonzo, and you fucking make that happen. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just found that remarkable. And look, if you don't believe the information I just told you, look it up. You can just look it up. I have no problem. Just look it up. That quote is a direct fucking quote from that guy, and you can look up between 1975 and 1988 what the rising cost was. I think it's not 4,000%. I'm sorry, it's 3,900 and some odd %. But at that point, it's fucking 4,000.
That's still an absolutely insane amount of essentially inflationary increase over a 15-year period.
Yeah, and a ton of people join. They're like, we all enrolled in college. Yeah, because they opened the door for everyone to get there, but you can't really afford it, right? Like, at a certain point, you're taking on these loans that you'll be paying for until the day you die. And now some people are leery about even taking on the loans because they do not want that hanging over them. So, just an aside. I thought it was an interesting bit of information. All right, let's get into the big topic this week. The economy. Yay, fun. I never heard an adult talk quite like this. So we have a clip to start. Trump is doing an interview. I forget what the woman's name. And this is just a cornucopia of fucking bullshit. Like, the entire interview is just crazy. But let's start off with this clip. This is on Meet the Press.
A deal very badly. We'll see how that all turns out, but it's got to be a fair deal.
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now, and I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy, because he's done a terrible job. He did a terrible job on everything. From his auto pen, which I'm sure he knew nothing about some of the things he was supposedly signing.
But, sir, you acknowledge when you announced your tariffs, for example, the stock market dropped. It's been volatile. It has since gone up.
It is,
do you take responsibility for that? Yeah. Do you take responsibility when it drops?
Ultimately, I take responsibility for everything, but I've only just been here for a little more than 3 months.
Ultimately, I take responsibility, but...
except for all the good things that are happening.
That's all me.
That I want credit for, but don't blame me for the things that are bad, because I don't want to take the blame.
I love that. Like, he talks like a 5-year-old.
I saw on Blue Sky someone said, "Man, Republicans truly think that their voters are the stupidest fucking people on the entire planet."
They do. Yeah, they do. Because you would only say this. You would only say shit like this if you believe that these suckers would buy into it. And they do. Like, in fairness, Republican politicians absolutely know their voters. They really do.
By the way, just for his context, since he wants to brag about the stock markets going back up, again, before the tariffs were announced, the Dow was sitting at about 45,000 points. Mm-hmm. At close today, it's sitting at about 41,000 points. So we're still, just still a smidge off from where we were at its peak while he was the president. And then the thing that he fucking did to make it turn the other way has not quite recovered entirely yet. Is it as bad as it was? No. Like, it's it got down to like the 38s for a little
37 and a half.
Yeah. So certainly rebounded from that, but like, to suggest that everything's going according to plan, fucking fantastic. And look, I gotta tell you, I am really enjoying the other economical line of attack that he's going with here. Is, maybe your kids don't need all these toys for Christmas.
Why would they? Fuck yeah. There's nothing like a billionaire telling you, some fucking chump working at a regular 9-to-5 job, being like, your kid doesn't need those toys. Me, a golden toilet. Yeah, I definitely need that. Your kids don't need this. Maybe they don't have $30, Brad. maybe they only have 2. And maybe those 2 dolls are a little bit more expensive. I was like, hey, Scrooge, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Like, what is going on here?
He also like weirdly like, so he keeps saying it, and he also like added in the other day where he's like, oh, maybe like instead of 250 pencils, they have 5. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
He has no idea about kids.
None at all. None at all.
Did Barron have 250 pencils going to school? What are you talking about? Yeah, just a very weird argument, like, about austerity. Like, you and I had talked about this offline. Like, I don't even think it's austerity as much as he has learned, or been conditioned, really, because he doesn't really learn anything. But he's been conditioned to just say whatever, just shoot from the hip all the time. And then the news that's positive towards him, conservative news, just will figure out a way to filter it down in the most positive light for him. Like,
they've actually shifted tack, because again, we went from, in the lead up to the election and once he got in office, oh, it's going to be the best economy ever. You're going to be so wealthy. You're going to have all this money. It's going to be fucking spectacular. And they've immediately flipped to, yeah, we like, it's fine that we, like, everyone could use a little less money. You don't need as much money as you have right now. You don't need to buy things at the rate that you used to and for the same price that you used to. It's for the betterment of the country. Yeah. Absolutely.
Look, it's just a little short-term pain, baby. Like, don't worry about it. What? Like, who the fuck signed up for that? Like, you guys were complaining. Your entire argument during the election was that prices are too high. Things are not affordable. Okay, then now why are you cool with prices being even worse and you having less money in your pocket? Oh, well, dear leader says it's okay.
And meanwhile, so they're also shutting down, not on the docket, but they're shutting down the student loan forgiveness program and starting this week. People are going to start paying those back. And like, fucking Charles Payne is on Fox Business, like, celebrating this. He's like, oh, this is going to be a thumb in the eye of all these.
That's the black dude.
Yeah, that's the black dude with the crew cut that looks like fucking Alan West. Like it's, thumb in the eye of all these liberal elites, and it's just like, huh? Do wealthy liberal elites need to take out student loans? Like, are those the people that are taking out student loans?
They just say the weirdest shit, like, just the weirdest shit. Like, bro, these are your constituents. Well, maybe not his constituents. I mean, he's a rich asshole on, like, Fox Business or whatever the fuck.
Right.
He doesn't give a shit about poor people at all, no matter what ideological area they lean in. But it's just curious to watch a bunch of rich people go on television to tell poor people that they need to tighten up and fucking, tighten up those bootstraps and fucking.
Well, they're acting like it's fucking like what they're trying to do is they're trying to, like, inspire the same spirit that America had during, like, World War II when it was, like, the national effort. Like, but bro, this ain't it. Like, you guys are fighting an enemy that is a perceived enemy to you. Like, I personally love all these fucking goods that are coming over from China that we can buy at reasonable prices. Yeah, like, yeah. And by the way, the only reason that all this shit is in China is because you fucking wealthy pieces of shit outsourced all that labor.
Correct.
You allowed this to happen. I didn't cause this. You fucked it up.
Right. And here's the thing. They don't actually care either. Like, that's the irony of it.
That is correct. Yeah,
like, they are bullshitting everyone to pretend like, oh no, we super care about this thing. We're really angry about it. But they don't actually give a fuck about this either. They would be more than fine with leaving the world as it is and benefiting and financially getting. You think, what is it? Lutnick came out and said that the future of America is that you work in a factory and your kids work in a factory and your grandkids work in a factory. Bitch, who the fuck are you talking to? That is not the goal of America. This is
the same. I don't know if it happened the same week, but the story came, like, surfaced around the same time that he went on TV and said that. He basically installed his 28 and 27-year-old sons to be the CEO, co-CEO of the hedge fund that he ran.
Yeah. I saw that.
because it's not his kids that are going to be working in the factory. It's your kids that are going to be working in the factory.
Right. And it's the classic thing rich people do. Hey, don't go to college. Don't go to college, everybody. College is a scam. Or not even rich people, but very conservative rich people. Don't go to college. College is a scam. No, don't do that. No, which one is, you want, the regular menial jobs. Those are real men jobs, right? Like these are real American jobs. Oh, my kids? Oh, my kid's going to fucking Harvard. I don't know what the fuck your kid's doing. Working for my kid. Like, I will never understand why, especially young people, especially young conservatives, by the way, why do you believe them? They don't send their kids to fucking trade school, dude. They send their kids to the fucking elite of the elite colleges. As much as Donald Trump and all these guys will shit on every college and tell you it's all bad, you think Barron is going to fucking local community college? You think he's going to be...
Is he going to NYU?
Probably. You think he's going to be fucking turning wrenches at a fucking mechanic shop? No, not that there's anything wrong with doing that. But when you lie to a generation and tell them that college is bullshit and it's a scam, but you all you motherfuckers went there. I remember listening to Ted Cruz be like, college is a real problem. Bitch, you went to like Princeton or Yale. You went to Yale Law, dude. You've done cases in front of the Supreme Court. You didn't get there by fucking like working at the local pick and save and just getting, promoted. That's not how it worked. But you lie to those people, to your point. They must think they have the dumbest constituents on planet Earth because they do. And like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, bro, you're proving it. Like, you're proving it.
I mean, you're saying you're trying not to be an asshole, but it's like, look, I'm just calling balls and strikes here. Like, we're just.
I don't get it. And by the way, that's not to say college is the only way for everybody, or that those jobs don't mean anything. What I'm talking about is a wholesale effort to get those people out of their kids' way so that those kids can be at the top of the fucking food chain. That's the reason they tell you that, right? Like they don't want to have their mediocre fucking piece of shit conservative kids having to go up against some fucking super smart kid from India or from part of East Asia.
Speaking of DEI, by the way, I'm pretty sure Lutnick's 20-something-year-old kids were definitely the most qualified people to be put 100%. In charge of his fucking $1 billion company.
Yeah, 100%. Like, who else could he have possibly picked? They were right there. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's
the meritocracy in full effect.
Oh yeah. There's nothing like the American-led meritocracy. Let's go back to the year that ever existed. Oh right, it never did. White people are still pissed off that they let black people into baseball. Okay, like get the fuck out of here. God damn it, we should have never done it. Yeah, and now Latin folks are in there dominating. So get out of here. Good for them. So, I don't watch baseball. Maybe that's still true. I have no idea. I think there's a couple of Japanese dudes who are like really good now. So
there are. I mean, a Japanese player is literally probably the best baseball player of all time right now. So like,
right? Yeah, he's like, isn't he like the highest paid too? Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. He like takes the shit out of everybody. Yeah, good. Yeah, well, look. Fuck meritocracy,
dude. He pitches at like a Cy Young level and also hits like 50 home runs a year and plays the outfield.
Jesus Christ! All right,
he's insane.
Is he Japanese? He's Japanese.
Yeah. Shohei Ohtani is who you're thinking of. So.
Okay, I dare to pretend to be shocked. They're really good at a lot of things, guys. Like they just are. Okay, it's just a fact. That's not racism. It's positive racism. Really, is what I'm leaning on. Brad. Should the president uphold the Constitution? The answer might surprise you. Let's go to the fucking videotape of this moron again on Meet the Press.
Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth, some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me. And they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Is anyone in your administration right now in contact with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia to the United States?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the Attorney General that.
Okay, I'm going to read something before you give a response.
Okay.
A lot of people have not heard of this, so I want to read this quote. It's an obscure quote. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will do my best of my abilities, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. It's a weird oath. People say that like every president takes it.
Weird. It's, it's like,
what are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
maybe he forgot that he took the oath. Maybe the senility has reached his brain, and he's like, "Look, that was 3 months ago. Like, how do you expect me to remember? What was it like? Person, dog, cat, TV, or whatever the fuck? Like that whole thing. That he knows. That he knows. He can fucking knock that shit out of the park every time. But preserve and uphold the Constitution of the United States. I need to talk to a lawyer about that one.
I don't know. How am I supposed to know this shit?
It's literally as if it's your only job.
Yeah, it quite literally
to follow the Constitution.
Follow the Constitution. That's it. Like, I get it. Like, when you do that, like, there's a lot of things that happen, but like, that's the top line shit. Like, you got to know that.
A lot of things you got to do that you don't really want to do. When that pesky Constitution, so many amendments. How's one to remember all of these things?
Dude, did you see that clip where they asked him, like, what does the Declaration of Independence mean to you? And he was like, It's a beautiful document. It's about coming together. The Declaration of Independence is about coming together. Okay, that's not what that document means. I'm not even sure you understand what the title of the document means, let alone what the fuck is in it. And it was so funny because I forget the dude who was interviewing him was like, he was standing and Trump is sitting and he's saying this, and you see his face. He's like,
"Oh, that was a Republican congressman that was
was it
in the office during that time." Just like, holy shit!
Wow, dude, this guy is dumber than we said.
I am really enjoying all the Republicans now going on all the interview shows, being asked now about this quote directly. They're just like, no, I don't see a problem with him wondering whether or not he needs to uphold the Constitution. Like, guys, what do you like? Holy shit, man! Like, it's just when you think that like you couldn't possibly plumb new depths of patheticism with the current Republicans that are in politics today. Trump just keeps serving them up like fucking curveballs, man. And they just keep whipping constantly.
Yeah, to paraphrase Roger Ebert, the late great Roger Ebert, there is no bottom to that barrel. Okay, no, like there just isn't, dude. Like there isn't. Every week, you're like, he couldn't say anything more absurd or sanctimonious or just disgusting than he said last week. Step aside, Butch. He's got a new one. Like, it's just, you don't know if you have to uphold the Constitution. And his argument is weird. Oh, like, we would have to have 2 million, 3 million trials.
Yeah, can you imagine having all these trials? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's
kind of why the whole fucking Megillah here. That's kind of the whole purpose. Maybe knowing that you have a burden of proof that you have to establish, maybe we don't deport people willy-nilly and just, round up people on the streets. And maybe we only go after the people who actually need to be removed from the country.
Right. And there are
because they're actually a danger to society being here.
Right. It's funny that he never has the thought process that things have not happened before him because they just didn't have these genius ideas. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sure there are conservative presidents who are like, yeah, we need to like lessen the amount of, illegal crossings or illegal immigrants in the country. Hey, I'm going to go talk to my DOJ and my legal advisors. And they're like, yeah, bro, you'd have to do like 11 million trials, and it would be arduous and insane, and it would clog the court systems, and nothing else would get done, and it would grind the entire country to a halt. And then it would be like, I think we should figure out a different method. Right. That's why they don't do that. It's not because you're the first person to think, hey, we should kick out a bunch of people. It's just that people have thought about this and like logistically it doesn't make sense because even though they were pieces of shit, they still understood that people deserve due process. And I love this, like, well, we're just deporting. We're doing so much illegal shit, we couldn't possibly do it legally, is his argument. That's not a very good argument. Like, it's a pretty bad argument. So, yeah, well, what do you expect me to do? Your job. Your fucking job.
I mean, but again, like, this is what happens when you literally elect the most unscrupulous person, perhaps in human history, to be the leader.
One of the worst.
Of your fucking country. Like, I mean, like, this is what you're getting. And I guess to some extent, like, a lot of his voters, like, this is what they want. Like they've said before, like, they want him to come in and just fucking act like a autocrat, for lack of a better term. The problem with that is that just doesn't jive with, the whole America thing in general.
Like, if you want a lawless country or not a lawless country, but you want a country where the leader just ignores the laws and just does whatever he wants, move to fucking Russia, dude. Like, just move there. They just do whatever the fuck they want. They don't care because it is a kleptocracy, right? Like, I
mean, Tucker Carlson tells us Hungary is amazing. You can go there and,
dude, I will buy you a first class fucking ticket one way, my man. You never have to come back. You never have to come back. Happy to pay your way. Look, I think first class is probably really expensive and really overrated. As far as my financial situation, I will scrape the dollars together to get you the fuck out of here. Like, just go. Just go. If it's so great, get the fuck out of here. You don't need to stay. Like, I'm not saying, like, I don't live in the US anymore. Where I live, I don't think it's like the greatest place on earth. I like a lot of the things there. I like, I'm not going to pretend that there are things I don't love about this place versus things about America I don't like, and vice versa. There are things about America I like more. But if I was like, this is the greatest place ever, but then I just also stayed in America and then just shit on America every day, that seems very silly to me. Like, like, there are plenty of things America does great. Arresting these type of pieces of shit would be an awesome way to start. Like, so, yeah. I don't know if I should uphold the Constitution. Yeah, bro, you have just shown how deeply unqualified you are for that job. That's what you just told me. Like, anybody who would argue anything else about Trump, just that clip alone should be enough to be like, nah, get out of here.
I mean, I get the feeling that clip is probably going to see some serious play, but then I say that knowing that he's going to say something even stupider and more like over the top within like the next 2 weeks. So we're going to forget all about this. And again, that is the problem with the Steve Bannon, flood the zone with shit strategy, is that there's so much, like it's literally impossible to give each statement the true ground. Like if you had, again, not just a Democratic president, if you had literally any other president in the history of this country get up here and say, I don't know if I need to uphold the Constitution, that person would not be the president anymore.
No, they pack you to fuck up. Like, get out of here. Like, no, you got to go. Like, if that is your argument, you don't know. I don't know what my job is. Then you don't get to have that job. Like,
but with Trump, you could argue that wasn't the stupidest thing that he said in this interview, much less like in the history of ever.
No, like, sadly, it's not. Sadly, it's not. By the way, I can prove that with our next clip because somehow this is even fucking dumber. So here you go.
You're talking about this transition cost. How long should people expect that transition to last, Mr. President?
I can't tell you that. I can tell you that we're making a lot of money. We're doing great. Again, we're losing more than $5 billion a day. $5 billion a day. You don't talk about that. And right now, we're going to be at a point very soon where we're making money every day. Look,
how soon?
We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars with China. Now we're essentially not doing business with China. Therefore, we're saving hundreds of billions of dollars. Very simple.
You take me to my next question.
Dude, that doesn't make any sense at all. That's not how anything works.
Does he think that American companies were just like putting a bunch of money in a sack?
Yes.
And like transporting it to China and then China built like the money tower like the Joker did in The Dark Knight and like lit the bitch on fire. Yeah. Is that what he thinks was fucking happening?
The Italian.
like what the, like, bro, we were buying things.
No, Brad, I need, look, if we're going to make it through these 4 years, I'm going to need you to knock off using logic because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, that is an unbelievably stupid statement. We used to spend hundreds of billions of dollars, spending hundreds of billions of dollars in China. We're not now, so we're making hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yes, we're saving the money and it's staying in America, not going to American companies that aren't making the things that they make in China.
Right. Like,
also not going to American companies who purchase the goods that they sell from China because nobody's buying anything from China. Instead, all of the containers are sitting in China, waiting, hoping, praying that this ridiculous tariff at least comes down significantly, if not gets eliminated altogether. And again, like I talked about last episode, we have not yet seen the full effects of this Chinese tariff yet. We're still in the early stages.
Yeah, because it's what, an 8-week lead out, like
8 to 12, depending on how fast you can get booked on a container. And depending on the traffic at the port, obviously, like at the port, there's nothing going on right now. But so that part's not a problem.
Easy cruising, baby.
But like, we haven't to reference something that Jay said earlier. Like, we haven't seen the ripple effects yet of slowing down commerce coming over from China. And meanwhile, you're not hurting China because China's like, oh, America's not going to buy this shit. Let's start swinging deals with other countries. And here's the other problem. Like, stuff that China was buying from us, that they're just like, all right, we're going to go get soybeans from Brazil now. And we're going to go get this from here and this from there. Even if you drop the tariff, it's not like all of that business is coming back. They're making agreements now that they're going to adhere to.
Yep.
And so even if you get the imports coming back in, you're still not going to have the exports going back out. Which means that all this beautiful money that we're supposedly saving right now is going to get turned around and bundled together into bailout packages for farmers in the Midwest.
Oh, I disagree. And I understand why you believe what you're saying. And I feel like that should be true, but I don't think you're getting those bailouts. And I'll tell you why. Because these pieces of shit in the White House, they cannot wait for those farms to go under so all these corporations that they're buddy with will fucking scoop them up. That's what they're waiting on, dude. They like, you're not getting them farm subsidies, baby, or like you're not getting nearly to the degree we used to subsidize farms. Like, they may try to keep them afloat a little bit so you keep them like a little tamped down so they're not screaming the whole time. But like, once your farm's gone, dude, like, what's screaming? Like, that party's over. Like, it's just done. Like, you are a part of the silent majority that they have steamrolled over. So I think if there are farm subsidies coming, when these guys really suffer, probably within the next, what are we 3-4 weeks since this shit started?
Oh no, it's been like 2 months, if you can believe it.
Oh, okay. It's been 2 months. So within the next like 4 weeks, I think they're in a world of trouble, but I think those subsidies are going to either be very low or non-existent.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's been a month. Liberation Day, quote unquote, was on April 2nd.
Oh, yes. Liberation.
It's been a month, yeah.
Where he liberated Americans from fucking...
from money.
From money, right, exactly. Liberated American businesses from success. So that's a 4-week window. But you're saying what? 8 to 12 weeks or 12 to 15?
8 to 12 generally.
8 to 12. So you've got a little bit more time before this, you got like 2 more months until this really hits the fucking fan. And when it does, the problem is people aren't going to remember Liberation Day. They're just going to be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Why is there nothing on the shelves?
I was going to say, I severely hope that he maybe makes a decision on the TikTok ban before the empty shelf TikToks become a fucking trend that are going on around the country. Might be to his benefit to make sure that shit gets knocked down before people start taking those videos.
Here's me dancing in front of the Walmart shelves that are fucking empty. Check it out. Like, fuck, you're fucked. You're fucked. Because once the shelves are empty, there is no denial. There is no denial. Now, you can deny it on Fox News. You can deny it on OAN. Look, we pushed all the shit to the front of the shelf, right? Like, you can do all that bullshit. You can try to trickle down that bullshit to Americans from those perspectives. But Americans are still going to go to those stores. And they're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Because Americans are not used to seeing empty shelves, dude. We are a country of abundance. There is too many things. Like, they got, like, the bin of DVDs at Walmart is overflowing with shitty $5 movies, right? Like, they are used to abundance. But when that shit starts dwindling over these next couple of weeks, and when you hit that fucking 12-week mark and it's like, oh, damn, like, what's going on? You are going to, his numbers, like, his popularity numbers are dwindling quite quickly. They are going to rock bottom when people cannot buy shit.
But here's the problem. If you don't have a Congress that's willing to defy him, what difference does it make? Because Donald Trump's not running for election again. The one thing that he did say,
isn't he?
Not in the I will say this. I will say this. One thing that he did say during this interview, because Kirsten Welker asked him about the whole 2028 run for a third term thing, which, again, I don't know why the media treats that like it's a viable thing, but whatever. And he did say, look, like, a lot of people, like, they made the hats or whatever, and, I understand why they want, but that's not something I'm interested in doing. Like I don't believe he's getting everything he wants now. What is him running for another term going to really try to run for another term going to do for him?
This is power. What does Elon Musk gain from having $200 billion and getting $50 billion more?
Elon Musk is 55 years old though. Like Donald Trump, like, he's getting the benefits of the corrupt presidency right now, and we're 3 months in. Like, he's still got 3 years to fucking bilk this shit, and by the time he gets to the end of it, he's gonna be like fucking 82. He doesn't want to fucking do this shit in 4 years. He wants to fucking be a corrupt piece of shit, make all his fucking money, which he's doing. Like, we're not going to talk about the crypto thing this week, but ostensibly, like,
$2 billion, dude. $2 billion of crypto from a fucking foreign country. All right, whatever. Go to jail. Just go to jail. It's insane. That story's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Look, you're not incorrect, right? Like, you're going to be 82 years old. What the fuck? Like, what are you going to do? There's a power thought process. But there's also one other one. Is protection. Sure. It is highly beneficial for him. He don't give a fuck about nobody else. Don't get it fucking twisted. He doesn't care. But it is highly beneficial for him to be protected under the presidency until the day he dies. It is. It is beneficial.
But Jay, the day he dies, with any luck, will be like next week.
Yeah, no, I know. Fingers crossed.
That's what we're all hoping.
Come on, cholesterol and heart disease. Where are you? Jeez.
Heart disease. Jay, are we talking about the same president? Are we talking about the same 6'3", 239-pound specimen that is currently occupied the Oval Office?
Oh my God. He's ready for the combine after he gets done with the presidency. He's going first round. Look, I think it's power, and I also think it's protection. I think that is his biggest thing, and I think that would keep him trying to hold on to power, just to keep the wolves from the door. Because look, I don't know if Democrats got the balls to do it, but if you don't, call me. I got the balls to do it. I'd be like, pack all you motherfuckers up in a paddy wagon. You're all going to prison. All of you. I'm not even remotely interested in that. Like, let's look forward, not look back. I'm like, no, turn the fuck around and deal with these.
Well, I mean, for me, that's going to be a fucking requirement of anyone that I consider for any political office. Is be like, we need to hold these fuckers to account.
Yeah, I'm not even remotely interested in, like, well, the country is really suffering. We can deal with that, but I need you to bifurcate your mind for a second, concentrate on putting the country back together, and ripping these fucking pieces of shit's assholes off on national television. That's what I want. Trials, the whole fucking, I was just doing my job. Well, welcome to Nuremberg.
You don't even, like all you need to worry about doing that is the president. Just make sure you get an attorney general in there that's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to make sure that everybody, and I do mean everybody in this country, is subject to the rule of law. 100%. And you know what I mean by that. Like that's what I'm looking for there. Congress doesn't have the power to fucking hold those fuckers to account, except for maybe doing like subcommittees and shit like that. Like,
there are people in Congress doing illegal shit too. Oh, I'm looking into insider trading on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Whole 9 yards, baby. Like everybody. Oh, that's petty. Good. Welcome to Pettyville, motherfucker. That's what's happening now. Like but you didn't do Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, guess what? I don't care. You're going to fuck you. Yeah, like whoever gets to be president under a Democrat, your job is to pick an absolute as brutal of a fucking asshole as you can pick for attorney general. They're like, take the fucking gloves off. Like, this is my only directive, and I'm going to go do the oath. Goodbye. Like, I don't want to see you for fucking 4 years. Just take the gloves off. That's it. Like, oh, should he do? Look, I just hired this person. I don't know what they were doing. There is a wall between us. Did I say murder them last time I saw them? Yes, maybe. But that's different. It's different. So yeah, no, just take the fucking gloves off. All right. So yeah, apparently we're saving hundreds of billions of dollars by not dealing with China because that's how economies work. Sure. So yeah, countdown to 2 months when everybody starts freaking out because the economy is in the toilet. Worse than it already is.
Meanwhile, Xboxes are $600 right now. So,
yikes! Congratulations, getting up to those PlayStation 3 prices. Excellent. Good job, everybody. Next up, just quickly, not that quickly. Israeli government goes all in on occupation. So they decided. Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel's plan to seize all of Gaza and hold it indefinitely will be intensive. So this is the plan. They're just going to occupy all of the Gaza Strip.
Oh, of course. Once you got the guy in America who told you to finish the job, what did you expect the plan to be?
So hey guys, all of you who were screaming at, I saw a woman screaming at AOC at an event, like calling her a war criminal. I'm like, where are you? Are you here right now? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? AOC is a war criminal? Like, at what point has she been cool with any of this shit? But again, people on the extreme left have a real tendency to not actually be paying attention to what's going on and just sort of moralizing, which is very, like, I get it, but you're being an idiot. Like, look, I understand your fire. Like, I do. I understand your fire.
One might even say a useful idiot. In some contexts.
Yeah, a fucking useful idiot is what I would say. But but if you believe that these people are war criminals and they're doing horrible things and you need to speak out about it no matter what, why do you focus on the people who will do nothing to you? Why don't you put in fact where your mouth is and go up against the people doing the terrible thing? You fucking coward. Like, you're a coward. Like, what the fuck, man? You're a coward.
Well, I mean, that's what it boils down to. Is they just, it's people that just like to bitch and to maintain some level of moral superiority. Well, I didn't vote for Kamala Harris either because she didn't commit to a ceasefire. Okay, cool. So you let the other guy who is antagonistic towards Gaza, whose son-in-law talked about, oh, look at all the beautiful waterfront property that we could develop in Gaza. That's the dude that you allowed in because of your moral stance, your piousness against the evil Democrats who were willing to give us half a loaf on this issue instead of the no loaf that the Republicans gave us.
So it's always better to get absolutely nothing you want versus getting half of what you want. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is that? Oh my God. By the way, yes, Kamala Harris actually was like, yeah, I'm for a ceasefire. They're like, we don't believe you. Donald Trump's
but
like,
are you? Because you were the vice president for Joe Biden.
Right.
And Joe Biden doesn't want a ceasefire.
Like, as we all know, vice presidents are the ones who really run the show. What? Like,
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to see how valuable the vice presidency is, go check out Fox's listed accomplishments for JD Vance during the first 100 days. It's a humdinger of feats. Let me tell you.
No couch was
gave a stirring speech in Germany. It was one of the 4 things that they threw up on the screen to talk about.
Yeah, the one where he was like, all right.
Yeah.
The pro AFD speech? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
Those were one of his 4 highlights during the first 100 days.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ. That entire party / network is just utterly ridiculous. Yeah, so they're going full on occupation. Look, a lot more people are going to get killed. Like that's just the reality of things.
Sure. And after they're done with Gaza, they'll be like, man, that worked so well. How about we head over to the West Bank and see what's up over there?
Yep.
Guaranteed. Again, oh, there's no Hamas over there. That's not going to stop us.
I mean, are they browner than us?
Right. They could be Hamas. We don't know.
It's better to bomb and ask questions later. I mean, if we're really thinking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really need people to understand a fundamental truth about this whole Israeli Gaza thing. Jews don't equal Benjamin Netanyahu and the right-wing government of Israel. Like, I see so much anti-Semitism. Like, yeah, these people are pieces of shit. Not the Jewish guy who lives down the street from you or who's on Instagram, you fucking asshole. Like, now if they say, hey, I support everything that's happening over there and fuck the Palestinians, okay, well, God bless. I'm not saying say anti-Semitic shit, but I'm like, if you want to say fuck that guy, fuck that guy. Like, okay, that's fair. But like, come on, man. Like, we gotta grow up. Like, this shit is just nonsensical to me. It's just unbelievable. And, you know, as an aside, fuck Benjamin Netanyahu and the right-wing government of Israel. Period. Like, I mean, it's just it's really disgusting behavior. I love this next story. Please, by all
means. It was really fun. Yeah, it was a fun time last week. So
I was hoping it was going to happen.
I was too. But it's just funny to watch the speed and immediacy to which the White House reacted to this. So Punchbowl News dropped a single sourced story last week saying that Amazon was going to start adding tariff fees to their checkout screen,
right,
in the wake of raising prices, thanks to Trump's tariffs.
That's awesome.
Literally within hours of this story being published, Trump's press secretary, Karen Levitt, came out and was fucking dragging Amazon, saying this is a hostile and political act, and it's not a surprise because they're partnered with Chinese propaganda, and this is fucking bullshit, and fuck Amazon, they're huge pieces of shit. And then literally within hours of that happening, Jeff Bezos comes out to grovel, being like, this isn't true, this was never true, this was never going to happen, this was a rogue like thing from Amazon's like Temu arm of you know their Temu competitor Temu thing. Yeah, no, they have like a Temu competitor essentially that does the same thing Temu does, where they drop ship stuff directly from China at absurdly low prices. And Jeff Bezos was like, no, I swear, Mr. Trump, this wasn't me. This wasn't us. And of course, as soon as he groveled, the White House was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, Jeff Bezos, he's a good guy. We never thought, but just like I said, how quickly they were going to throw Amazon in the bus. Now, to your point, as you've said many times, I don't understand why the White House would have seen this as a problem, because tariffs are supposed to be good, remember, and you know it shouldn't be a problem to see how they impact your daily lives. And I also thought it was really funny that Jeff Bezos, who took a stand a couple weeks ago and said, hey, the only thing we're going to talk about in the Washington Post editorial from now on is free markets and personal independence, or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And he immediately kowtowed in the wake, just a whiff of disappointment from his new daddy, Donald Trump.
This is a wild story, right? Because it's wild in a lot of ways, but the question that was asked to the press secretary was really interesting, right? Because it was like, hey, have you heard about this story? And the Punchbowl news story. Hey, have you heard about this? Doesn't this prove that it is the American consumer that pays the tariff and not China? And immediately she goes into what you were saying of like, this is political, this is aggressive, or whatever the fuck term she used.
Amazon is basically owned by the Chinese government.
Yeah,
is our stance.
It's like, okay. But she never addresses the point, right? Because yeah, of course. And I'm like, it's a missed opportunity. It's not the journalist's fault, right? Because she just pivots and then fucking goes off in her stupid shit. She's one of the worst press secretaries I've ever seen, by the way. Just awful, right? And Sean Spicer exists, okay? That's how bad she is. Never forget, that man hated Dippin' Dots. He swears it's not ice cream. You can Google it. It's really weird. He has tweeted about it multiple times.
I mean, I guess it's technically not, but I also don't really hold a firm opinion about it one way or the other.
No, dude, like multiple times, he's like, Dippin' Dots is not ice cream. Fuck that.
Okay. All right, Sean.
Okay, Sean, put the bunny suit back on, you goddamn weirdo.
Sure, this is a Wendy's. Like, what are you doing here?
I don't know what a Dippin' Dots is. It's not very good, by the way. But anyway, like, if they could put that on there, and by the way, if you're another company, you should do this. Like,
some companies are.
You should.
To be fair, some companies absolutely are.
Yeah, you should. Because like, you don't get to charge us. Like, I'm speaking as like a business. You don't get to charge us extra money, and then we get blamed for the cost. No. Like, look, we're gonna pass the money down to our customers anyway, right? Because like, fuck that, we ain't gonna pay it. But they should know what the problem is. But I love that their response is, this is hostile, this is political. No, you made this hostile. You made this political. Things were fine. You did this, and now people are annoyed by it. Why are you mad at them? Bro, you did it. Like, you're the ones who started this shit. If everything is supposed to be hunky-dory and the tariffs are supposed to work out great, you shouldn't have any problems with it. But you want them to lie. You want them to take on the cost, pass it on to their consumers, and then lie to them. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Automakers, like, you're going to notice when the price of a car goes up significantly. You're going to notice that. Mm-hmm. Why should Ford or, BMW or Mercedes be like, oh yeah, no, we just raised the prices. We're the pieces of shit. No, we're not. We're doing this. Now, yeah, we're the pieces of shit because we're eating the cost or passing the cost to you. But you would expect that. It's a business, right? Like, you're not expecting them to run at zero profits. But you should be able to say, hey, this is why the price is increasing, because that fucking guy up there did it. And the fact that they don't want that information out there tells you just how bad it's going to be, and they know that it doesn't work. Because you wouldn't have attacked him and said this if you thought, oh, well, it's not true, right? I say this all the time. If Republicans are so right about everything, why do they lie? Why do you have to lie? Mm-hmm. If you're so correct, what is the purpose of lying? If you're so correct about tariffs, why do you need to attack them for showing these price differences?
Say that shit with your chest, as we say all the time.
They don't. They love taking that blame and just being like, the buck stops way over there. Like, they don't want to deal with it. It's like, no, motherfucker, deal with it. That's your policy. But they never do. All right, next up, let's do this take it down law, and then we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, this will be a really quick one. I just wanted to bring it up because just kind of put a pin in this. So, a law or bill, I should say, passed Congress almost unanimously in both houses, which is again a remarkable thing to see nowadays. Like, literally 409-2 was the vote in the House for this law called the Take It Down Act, and basically what it is a law that requires social media companies to take down content that is flagged as non-consensual sexual images, including AI generated content. So like if someone like makes a deep fake, about you and posts it online, then social media companies, as long as it gets flagged, social media companies will be required to take it down. On the surface, this sounds like a completely logical and reasonable and welcome thing that we should all want. Just keep an eye out for what certain groups may do with this law, and what certain groups will flag and try to get taken down using this law as their backstop.
Yeah, I have a feeling that anything that is critical of Trump, critical of the right, if it is an image, they will, oh, no, take it down. They'll just bum rush the shit. And then the social media companies, in their infinite wisdom, will set this up to be automated. And they will take advantage of it. That is exactly what will happen. Because they're not going to have somebody go, oh, okay, no, this is not a real thing. Oh, okay, this is bullshit. No, they're going to fucking use AI and be like, hey, if this thing gets kicked into so many take it down requests, pull it. And we'll look at it later or whatever. That's what'll happen. And right-wing trolls, they just build troll farms, and that's what they'll do. So just kind of put a pin in that one. Look out for that as this law gets signed and put into practice. It'll be really interesting to see. This is just social media websites?
That's what the bill says. But I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if the scope gets expanded somehow.
So, okay, I think it should, but not in the way that this is written, right? Because this is too broad. Like this is a problem. Like writing laws is an art form, right? Because you got to be able to make it broad enough that it hits the thing you want, but narrow enough that it doesn't end up being like, let's just take down any post on the internet, right? Like, so you have to figure out how to do this. But if you're trying to knock down like sexually explicit things that are not authorized, like one of the big things online, I remember hearing a report on this, it was really fucking sad, is that like somebody will have, like a young girl will have images of herself on, I don't know, like Flickr or some shit like that, or like in one of the like image box or something like that. That's like private. And then someone will break into it and take, and they're not even like pornographic images, just like her in a bikini or some shit like that. And they'll take those images and they upload them onto like a porn site or anything like that. And you know, the girl's like 18, 20 years old. And that shit is just on porn sites forever. Right. And I think there should be a mechanism, because like if you try to take them down, like it's almost impossible, right? Like to request. Good luck, right? Like they're like the major sites you could go after and be like, hey, this is not fucking cool, and they don't want to get sued, right? Like your porn hubs and shit like that. Like they would take the shit down. But like any of those other sites that are just run by a bunch of like, I assume skeevy fucking dudes in a basement some fucking where, good luck getting those things taken down. So like I can understand the reason for a law like this, and I can understand an expansion of that law to leave social media and go wider. But I don't know, because of the way the internet is, making a law like this in the US, well, there's plenty of sites that are run outside of the US. Like I don't know if there's a level of effectiveness, because there's not a sort of global internet police kind of
there isn't, but my concern for this just stems from the fact that I don't trust any conservative group to not take a mile when given an inch, 100%. especially when something like this requires people to act in good faith. And people have proven on the right time and time again to not act in good faith. So to your point, like I think you're going to see this try to be exploited to take down shit that they don't like, or stuff that's critical of their leaders and stuff like that. And I'm not going to go as far to say like it's a Pandora's box, but I think we're starting to kind of creak the door open on selective censorship, let's say.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's incorrect. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. I have a feeling, like I said, and to echo what you're saying, the right will use it like that. And again, the worst thing social media companies can do is to automate the response to it. That's a terrible choice, by the way. Yep. And if that happens on like a YouTube or something like that, that is going to be disastrous. You cannot automate this, even though it should be likely to be a pain in the ass. By the way, it also, like, if you're going to automate any of this, it shouldn't be the automatic takedown. You should be watching how quickly these takedowns come on, and are these from bot farms? Because that is actually a thing that would be worth tracking, and then start banning those accounts. But they don't ever do that because Mark Zuckerberg, who is desperate to seem cool and hip, you're not, okay? I just want to point that out.
And never will be.
And you never fucking will be. In his infinite wisdom was like, we're no longer censoring anything on Facebook, because conservatives basically destroyed that app. They destroyed it by just flooding the zone with complaints and everything else. Why can't I just put up me doing a Nazi salute and a Hitler mustache. It's unfair to me, right? And it's like, okay, they're a private company. They're allowed to not do that. And then they got bullied. And then, somebody told Mark Zuckerberg about what a red pill is. And then his stupid ass took one and he's become a fucking moron. And so now he's on this shit. Like, the idea of nothing ever needs to be censored, everything is open, don't worry about it, it'll all be totally fine, doesn't even purport with normal life. Like, it just doesn't.
You know what though? I wouldn't give a shit about it if it wasn't for the level of influence that Facebook has, especially over a specific subset of people in this country. Because normally, like, that's something like that the free market is really good at handling. Actually, like, if you turn your app into a fucking cesspool, people will leave your app and stop using it. Like so that is a consequences of my action sort of thing. Yeah. But just because Facebook does have such a disproportionately weird hold on boomers and Gen Xers and millennials to an extent specifically, that it does need to be reined in a little bit. But normally I wouldn't give a shit. So
no, that's fair.
Like you want to make your app unusable to regular folks, go with God and see how Parler's doing. So
I'm sorry. What even is that anymore? Parler, Telegraph, oh, check out my site on Telegraph. Nobody goes there. No one goes there but a bunch of like Nazis or people who
literal
want to
Nazis,
watch,
right?
Or people who want to watch like hardcore porn on Telegraph for some fucking reason. Right? No, that's it. Like, I've never had a Telegraph account. I don't ever plan on having a Telegraph account. I don't even know what the Telegraph website is. It's probably telegraph.com. I don't even give a shit. I just do not care. Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.